Oh boy, do I have a story for you guys today. And this story is about the man, the favor man called G. And the reason why I called him the favor man is because it's a name that we gave him at work. I work at Target, by the way. But it's a name that we all gave him at work because he's the man with many favors. Now, he's a cool person, this and that, but for a man with many favors to be called in within one day, you're abusing the privilege of being called by your real name. So we'll call you the favor man, and the favor man name is, we'll use initials G. Now, while using these initials, his initials G, and keeping it as G is a good man, calm, relaxed, never seen him lose his mind, his temper, always calm, but he's lazy. He's real lazy. I'm not gonna lie to you, he's lazy. For a man to be calling in nothing but favors all within a day, that's abusing your privilege. Now, I'm gonna explain to you why we call him the man with many favors, the favor man. The first thing that comes out of his mouth, even if you see him in the morning, your first time seeing him for the day, the night, afternoon, whatever, the first words out of his mouth is, "Hey man, can you do me a favor?" And I'm not lying to you. You can ask many people at Target. They'll be like, "Oh, the favor man? Yeah, I know him. He's a man with many favors." But still, though, the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, "Hey man, can you do me a favor?" And you're here thinking like, what the heck? Like, you already called in favors and I just came in, I just punched in, I just started work? Are you serious? But let's get into it. Now, my job is not sales floor. G is a team leader, so he makes sure the team members are doing their job and he's doing his job and making sure the floor is maintained and all of that. Now, I'm a card attendant. That means I'm not under G. I'm under another team leader, mostly for the front end. Now, as my job describes, I make sure the whole store has carts, baskets, etc., etc., making sure the store is clean with carts and baskets, making sure making sure that both floors have them. And while doing that, I got a call on the walkie. It says, card attendant, can you pick up?" So I picked up the walkie. I said, "Go for card attendant." Now, the first thing he says goes to 4. So when I went to channel 4, and said, "I'm on card attendant on 4. He says, "Hey man, can you do me a favor?" I'm like, oh boy, the man with many favors is finally called in a favor. So then he said, "Hey, can you send up carts and I'll catch them?" I'm like, "Just give me a while. I'm the only card attendant on the floor, and I was waiting for my other pal to come in so we could both start it up. We could both start doing our job more efficiently." Short story, my other fellow card attendant called out on me, so it was only me there for the day. I was closing. It was a rush downstairs. It was hectic, but I still sent it. But I still got the cards for him because I know he's a favor man. But while doing that, I called for him on the walkie. I said, "Hey G, TLG, can you come downstairs and can you come by the RAM port so I can start sending up the cards and you catch them?" He's like, "Hey man, switch back to 4. I'm like, oh boy. So when I switched back to 4, he said, "Hey man, I'm kind of doing something at the moment, so can you just send them and catch them by yourself?" I said, what the hell? What the heck did this guy just told me? So while realizing that my fellow card attendant pal called out, I just got angry. I was upset, aggravated. I didn't want to hear nothing. So then I called my team leader A. So then I explained it to her. She said, alright, go upstairs, find G, and when you find him, walkie me back. When you walkie me back, I'm gonna call you back downstairs in 30 seconds. I've said minutes. But anyway. So then I went upstairs, went on a hunt for G, and at this time, I never really knew he was the man with many favors. They said he was, but I never believed it. So then I went around looking, saw a team member. I'm like, hey, did you see G? He's like, yeah, G's walking around. I'm like, walking around? Yeah, his walkie's off. He's just walking around doing nothing as usual. So then I said, that's crazy. What do you mean he's walking around? I just asked him if he could catch the carts at the Rampart, and he said no. They said, nah, he just walking around doing nothing. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then I found G. I was like, hey, G. He was like, hey, man, how's it going? How's the night going? I'm like, it just got interesting. Like, it just got interesting. So then he was like, hey, that's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. So what you up to? I'm like, I'm up to nothing. I'm up to nothing. I'm about to catch these carts. He was like, hey man, that's what's up. Now, if you were me, what would you do? Would you punch G in his face for being a liar? Or would you curse him out? Saying, why would you lie about this? Would you curse him out? Or would you just walk away? Now me, I did the most trifling thing. My team leader A called me on the walkie, as she said. Tim came downstairs. We was right by the Rampart. I was like, hey G, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go downstairs and get something real quick. I'm gonna send you up something. He was like, hey man, thanks. So while doing this, I realized something. I'm like, yeah, you're about to get a rude awakening. So then I sent him up the carts. I was like, hey G, start catching the carts. You're a real good pal for that. While G is there looking at me, I seen the anger in his face. And he realized something, that you never do that to someone who helps you out when you call in your favors numerous times. But let me know in the comment section, guys. What would you do if you were in my shoes or you had a similar situation? Would you curse the person out? Would you punch a person? Or would you do something trifling like how I did? Anyway, the gameplay is coming to an end. I didn't get to explain it to you guys, but I'm out. Peace.